Chapter 1. You're not too emotional. You're being too sensitive. It's fine, you'll get over it. I'll give you something to cry about. It could be worse. That didn't happen. It's not that bad. Memories from childhood haunt us, whether we're conscious of them or not. The body holds on to moments where we were asked to neglect parts of who we truly are. Our worldviews expand when we recognize that who we were born to be will face battles that wound us at our core. These moments flow through us emotionally. When I was a small child, I shared a room and a bunk bed with my brother. In my eyes, he was the smart one, always logical and stable, where I was too emotional. My parents and him could move through the day smoothly. I couldn't. My emotions came like waves to the surface, being left to cry and asked to manage my emotions without being taught how to. I had trouble suppressing my emotions, so instead, I learned to hide until I could release enough tears to steady myself. I still wonder why we, as humans, believe ourselves powerful enough to suppress the waves of an ocean as if we can control nature. A memory sticks with me where I hid under the blankets, banished to the confines of my room, crying and alone, unsure of what to do or what was wrong with me. This was a feeling I carried with me through my teenage years and early adulthood, moving from the sheets to showers and bathrooms where I could only feel what I needed to feel behind locked doors. I didn't learn that my emotions were alerting me to unmet needs. I sat with my tears and invalidated who I truly am. Without acceptance for being allowed to cry in situations that aren't physically painful, I never learned that it was valid to feel, integrate those feelings, and take care of myself as needed. I would lie under the covers, crying and holding pieces of myself. I was hungry, tired, and drained. Yet I had to process that alone. I couldn't make myself a meal, sleep soundly before eating, or ask for support. As a child, I shouldn't have had to do this on my own. There was no acceptance for showing my emotions. Even when I couldn't hold it back anymore and shed those tears openly, I felt ashamed, like I was failing at what was required of me. It was confusing to me because there was room for frustration, arguments, anger, yelling, and heartbreak, but there was no real integration and processing for any of my family members to move forward from things that happened behind closed doors. I learned from adults in my life that emotions were to be repressed, suppressed, and not talked about. Feelings were things to be controlled, and if they weren't, it was too much for anyone to handle. No one was capable of sitting with me to figure out why I cried so much. So I learned through social interactions, external validation, drugs, alcohol, sex, and even roller coasters to run from my tears and emotional pain. I learned that by feeling a rush, I could escape feelings within me momentarily. Societally, we're not taught how to process, integrate, and allow the flow of our emotions. We follow what we observed in childhood about how to avoid feelings. Whether it's watching a parent have a beer every day after work to unwind, or a mom who calls her friends or siblings to dump her stresses on them without permission, there's always something from those years of your life that leaves an impression on us. We're surrounded by adults who are pursuing relationships, material possessions, or stimulating entertainment to manage their emotions for them. They attempt to make daily decisions based on a framework that another set of emotionally neglected adults laid out for them. They have midlife crises because they weren't happy with the script that they followed. They hit points in their life where they crashed into a rock bottom because they chose a path that wasn't true to their spirit. In doing so, they acted in ways to hurt others, running to escape the societal pressures placed on them. Realistically, most adults are walking around as children, masking themselves as adults. We have all walked along this path, and that's okay. We have all lived out of conditioning from where we unconsciously learn to survive. It's habitual. Yet, there's an inner child in all of us that is asking for permission to feel validated. That inner child understands that rules keep us in bondage and hold us back from our soul's path. Without conscious awareness of your feelings, you may be acting in ways that have you speculating, I don't know why I did that. With conscious effort, you can start wondering what's happening emotionally and start asking why. Create your life in each moment. Cognitive behavioral therapy, also known as CBT, asserts that by monitoring your actions, thoughts, and feelings, you can reduce emotional problems. These three features have a mutual relationship with each other. When you shift a thought, your feelings and actions will change as a result of that change. For example, if you have the thought, I am lazy, you may feel lethargic and act in a way that aligns with that belief about yourself. When you change your behavior, your thoughts and feelings change as well. So if you take action to go to the gym twice a week, you may begin to think that you are an active person and feel proud of the changes you made. As you learn to work within this model of change, your thoughts influence your beliefs, which shifts your identity. When I started practicing yoga, I committed to showing up 3 days every week. Immediately, I started to adopt the belief, I am a yogi. This belief shifted my identity and helped me stay consistent in practicing the values and postures of yoga. Conversely, your thoughts can shift when you fall into old patterns of actions that may not align with the life you envision. Every weekend, I can make the decision to go out to parties and clubs with my friends, spending lots of money and drinking to excess. I could easily fall into the pattern of chasing my next intoxicated night out. However, if I did this, and I have before, I would find my thoughts turning to guilt and shame. I would feel a loss of motivation, and my feelings may spiral towards depression. CBT is a great example of how one area of your life or your identity slowly seeps into other areas. Your thoughts, feelings, and behaviors all interact with each other. You make choices to do, say, think, and feel in ways that are meaningful to you. This model targets a shift in actions and thought patterns because it asserts that it is extremely hard to control or change how you feel. Feelings are a physiological reaction to something, maybe even your perception of reality, that is asking to be seen and heard. They alert you to your needs and desires. To illustrate, meet Maya. Maya stands in line for an hour waiting to renew her passport. The person behind her is chewing gum and blowing bubbles that pop every 90 seconds. They're on the phone with their friend and talking loudly about their relationship problems, which Maya was judging as 90% their fault. Maya drove straight from a long day of work to stand in line. She's been in meetings all day in a job that doesn't value her skill set. A short line to wait in would have been amazing, especially since she hasn't eaten since lunch and it's now 6:15 p.m. The person behind her is on her last nerve, and Maya feels frustrated, maybe even angry at them. She can count 5 people in front of her in line and feels powerless to her hunger cues, and knows there's at least 15 minutes of waiting to go. If you were Maya, how easy do you think it would be to change your feelings? It's hard to shift how you feel. However, you can shift your thoughts and actions in hopes that your feelings will move towards enjoyable emotions. Though, waiting generally tends to be an uncomfortable sensation within the body when we are wired to chase dopamine and more. Without awareness, when you're feeling frustrated, it becomes easier to act and think in ways that aligns with frustration. For example, Maya may jump from frustration projected at the person behind her in line to having intrusive thoughts of her parents saying to her, "It's not that bad," or "It could be worse," even though she has seen them react the exact same way before. Now, that is frustrating. Past generations weren't taught how to tune into their feelings and emotions. They even had less vocabulary than we do to share their experiences with others. This trickles down the pipeline to new generations having to unlearn neglecting, suppressing, and rejecting emotions, and learning how to hold space for them. Holding space for emotions has its value because it gives you the ability to direct your attention towards actions and thoughts that lead to more desirable decisions made for your life. It opens you up to cultivating a deeper relationship with yourself by honoring your unique emotional waves and indulging your authentic desires. In frustration, we're blinded to curiosity that can take us onto new paths. Each moment allows us to pause, listen to our feelings, and be directed towards what is meant for us in this lifetime. It can be the slight smell of cinnamon that leads you to a coffee shop where you meet your future business partner, or the last-minute flight booking that takes you to a place where your worldview shifts forever. You can change course in slight decisions as you make your way through each day. In each moment, you decide how to create your life, listening to your emotions as a guide. Maybe Maya recognizes that she still has time to renew her passport. So she leaves the line and goes to grab a burger instead. Maybe she needs to renew it for her vacation next week from the job that is draining her. And so she pulls out her earbuds and drowns out the noise around her, playing her favorite song on repeat to take her away from the surrounding energies. After a second to breathe, she texts her best friend saying, "Today sucks," with 3 exclamation points, thus allowing someone else to validate her. You are the creator in your life, the alchemist. You're able to create situations and make decisions to shape how you feel about the world around you. You can come to a place where you acknowledge and honor your feelings as meaningful teachers, here to guide you along your path. There's a difference between listening to someone's problems while your frustration grows and then taking it out on the next person to get in your way, versus minding your business in a lineup by taking care of yourself first, stopping the trickle of emotion from pouring out onto others. Like an overflowing cup of coffee, ready to stain your pristine white t-shirt, emotions can overflow past the surface easily, especially if you are unaware of what's happening. Feelings demand to be felt. They want you to think and behave in ways that result in a change so that you can make aligned choices. After all, you hold the power in each moment to create your life in a way that you desire. Feelings-based living. Feelings-based living means prioritizing your emotions in the decisions you make and the actions you take. Feelings are inevitable messengers that guide you towards your passions, leading you to your purpose. Feelings rule our lives. Within 1 week, we can feel the highs of joy, passion, and awe to the lows of despair, loneliness, and frustration. Rather than suppressing, denying, or projecting these emotions onto others, we can make space to honor our natural emotional waves. Though this isn't an easy task. We all have conditioning from childhood that impacts the relationship we have with our emotions and with ourselves. From the incessant thoughts about not being good enough to self-absorption with an inflated sense of self, we can cope in unique ways to get through each day. There often isn't strong modeling for us to understand how to process and integrate our emotions. That's okay, because at any time, we can choose to cultivate a deeper relationship with our emotional waves. Feelings-based living is number 1, emotional literacy. And from emotional literacy, we move to number 2, emotional responsibility. The first step towards feelings-based living is emotional literacy, which means to name and explore your emotions in a safe space. We'll explore this together in part 1. Emotional literacy builds self-awareness surrounding how you're feeling and allows you to begin exploring why you feel this way. Your emotional waves are unique to you, and I believe it's pertinent that you get in tune with yours. The way you feel love or frustration is going to feel different from the experience that your friends, peers, and parents have. Your triggers, passions, desires, and pains are unique to you. Your feelings may fluctuate daily, weekly, or monthly as they follow different seasons in your life. Or they can be more enduring. Maybe you have felt exhausted, drained, and uninspired for years now. As you continue living day to day, doing the same things, you're unable to change those feelings. Maybe you have been calm for months because you decided to commit to a daily rhythmic flow that honors your needs for alone time and connection. Maybe you feel anxious and numb every day. Maybe you're feeling passionate about a project you're working on and jump out of bed to work on it. Reconnecting with your feelings leads you to a deeper relationship with yourself, allowing them to guide you towards a purpose and passion-filled life. They move you to ask for your needs to be met, to stand up for yourself, and to set boundaries that hold you accountable to protecting your energetic space. Your feelings will indicate when to move towards certain actions, situations, or energies that are meant for you. Call it intuition or manifestation. This is your path. And your parents, siblings, family, and friends can't always guide you along the way. Your soul's path will sometimes speak directly to you, And it's okay if no one else understands. It's up to you to trust your feelings. In this book, we'll explore tools that you can choose to use along your emotional wellness journey. As you grow, the people and tools you choose as supports evolve with you. You may love journaling and then go through a winter where you don't want to write at all. Have faith in the process. We aren't meant to grow in a linear way. Feelings lead you to build strength, depth, and intimacy in your relationship to people and things as well. Your favorite person, book, play, movie, show, pet, memory, or song speaks to you through how it makes you feel. It's human nature to connect with others through feelings of hate, love, passion, anger, despair, fear, etc. Feelings help us relate to and understand each other, which feeds our need to belong and connect in this world. As much as feelings connect us within relationships, they also connect us with our relationship to ourselves. As we become more intimate with our feelings, we realize that other people are not going to be experiencing the world with the same depth that we can. People are taught to suppress how they feel and to not have big emotions. That is, to not feel deeply. Without feelings, we wouldn't fall in love, end relationships with people who are controlling, lean on our support systems, be inspired to find a new job, or stop reading that really boring book you keep falling asleep through. Hopefully not this one. When we experience a healthy range of emotions, it's common to be told that we are too sensitive or too much. Most people are uncomfortable with the idea of feeling their feelings because it's a practice of vulnerability. Choosing feelings-based living means breaking societal rules that have been imposed on us by the collective. My hope is that you will break past this conditioning. The second step towards feelings-based living is emotional responsibility. This means taking ownership for your actions, thoughts, and feelings without blame, suppression, or avoidance. You will begin to listen to your emotions as messengers, which we'll explore in part 2. These messages will communicate your deeper needs and desires to you so that you can take action and make decisions that align with the life that you dream to live. If you're invalidating your emotions or avoiding them currently, you are likely doing things and making decisions that don't feel in sync with your desires. You probably have no idea why you keep doing X if it makes you feel Y. It's empowering to connect the dots and recognize that your feeling of anger is asking you to stand up for yourself and set a boundary. Or that seeing your friend helps you feel calm, so you increase their presence in your life. Acknowledging your feelings helps you take responsibility for the way your actions, thoughts, and feelings all interact with each other, and knowing that you have the power to change them. Emotional responsibility also includes the energy you give off. Other people can sense your energy. And if you are neglecting what your emotions are telling you, they may feel what you are not saying. Your unprocessed emotions begin to enter the external world through illnesses, mannerisms, and other unconscious behavior. They can come out towards others as reactions of anger, shutting down, avoidance, or relying heavily on coping mechanisms to create an illusion over what is happening beneath the surface. Emotional responsibility empowers you to honor your feelings and advocate for your needs and desires. It's making decisions that align your actions today with where you want to be in the future, communicating with clarity and authenticity, and finding your confidence from within. Ultimately, it leads to cultivating healthier relationships with yourself and others as a result of owning what is aligned for your life. That's the thing. It is your life. You hold the key to create the magic you're seeking. Now, let's explore a couple guiding philosophies behind the magic of surrendering to feelings-based living. As an aside, if you're afraid to face your feelings, I get it. You may be feeling overwhelmed by your life experiences. Emotions can be painful, and it may feel unsafe to step into that abyss. If this book ever feels too heavy in your hands, for your heart, or in your soul, know that you have the power to put it down. Pause. Professionals are available to support you through online resources, crisis lines, and psychiatric support. Emotional waves. The universe works through a pattern of waves. What goes up must come down. Tides will be high, then low. The waves lap against the sand repeatedly, shaping each grain. You will feel sad and hopeless, followed by joy and inspiration. This is a philosophy of life that I have learned to trust in. I know that it's scary to face emotions that have been suppressed since childhood. It seems like an endless task to heal what has been buried inside. I want you to know that it doesn't have to happen all at once, and that you are in control of the pace. It's a big deal to finally feel the pain of not knowing where you truly want to be in life, to feel the pressure of your peers wanting you to do things you don't enjoy, or to re-experience the heartbreak of being rejected by someone you deeply love. It's difficult to face the past and trust that you will come out on the other side as a whole and lovable human being. It's also inevitable that these emotions will surface one day, even if that happens below your conscious awareness. Stored emotions find their release, whether that's through the actions that you don't take as a result of your fears, or through your body manifesting emotions in pain or illness. As emotions are processed through a release, they will change, and you will change. That is not to say that things will always be improving as you heal. Sometimes pain can occur before you reach acceptance. Things may not always get better, but I promise you can always surrender to loving exactly where you are. It helps to understand the philosophy of emotional waves and how to trust this pattern. Life is a series of ups and downs. According to the New Age practice of human design, 50% of people are always experiencing an emotional wave. This means that whenever they have to make emotional decisions, they will ride their wave up and down until they find clarity. You may have this wave going on within you, or you are personally impacted by relationships with people who do. Either way, clarity takes time. When making decisions, people need to pause to process and listen to their emotions. Making decisions and reacting in the moment is hard for 50% of people. If you don't take a moment to tune in with yourself before saying yes or no, it's easy to regret decisions that you make. A quote by Ra Uru: "There is no truth in the now." The depth of that knowing comes from the beauty of what the emotional system is about. It brings depth into our lives. When you wait, you get to see the things you feel and care about in a unique clarity because you get the perspective over time. This pattern of up and down can always be found within nature through cycles, which we'll discuss in Chapter 10. Surrendering to each phase of a cycle will help you flow through your lows without attachment and experience your joys with humility. We have to accept this duality while also having faith that every state is temporary. We want to hold on to feelings like they are permanent, but as the wave shows us, they are just passing through. A Buddhist proverb: "Observe the fluctuations of the mind. Do not become them." This will work in unique ways throughout your lifetime. For example, when you feel insecure about the book you're writing, it will be followed by creative bursts of energy and inspiration. When it's winter and you want to stay inside all the time, you can trust that summer will come, where you'll get to be outside enjoying the sun. No matter how much of your current state feels permanent, it never is. Trust the wave of emotion that occurs universally. In this inevitable truth of the emotional wave, it's important to note that chasing happiness is to be in pursuit of a fleeting feeling. If you hold on to that pursuit with a tight grasp, it will slip through your fingers. It may seem like a curse that you cannot always be happy. However, it isn't. Just as happiness won't last forever, neither will sadness, exhaustion, or anger. We can choose to see that blessing. Your shadow or darker emotions are extremely healthy for guiding you towards a soul-aligned path. For a few years before this was published, I felt frustration towards myself and others for the path that I was walking along, like it wasn't aligned for my soul. I was always in pursuit of an external distraction, going out with friends every weekend, and avoiding that frustration building within me. It wasn't until I reached a place where I could really listen to that feeling and felt ready that I could decide to make decisions to step back from work projects, relationships, and the busy season of my life to write this book. Only then did I make room for motivation, inspiration, and passion to write. These seemingly negative emotions are powerful. They are messengers that can guide you to what aligns with your soul path in this lifetime. I say in this lifetime because it's possible that you may be healing ancestral wounds. Thus, with each generation, we can move closer to liberation. Your emotions are a gift. Re-gifting them to others can increase guilt for passing on something that we didn't want to have in the first place. Learning how to accept the gift of your feelings with grace is the magic of honoring your feelings as messengers from your soul. As the emotional wave laps against the sand, each grain of joy, passion, peace, happiness, depression, anxiety, exhaustion, or frustration can transform. The years of frustration towards not writing can end up being a shell that you are now reading. The deeper you feel your shadows, the more wonder you can experience from your light. Spiral staircase. As you take steps deeper into this philosophy, you will spend time reflecting on what is happening within and around you. You'll begin to see situations in your life that are reoccurring. Your soul will recognize that you experience similar energies repeatedly, and you will begin to recognize energies you've met before. Unlike the past, you will grow your self-awareness muscle with each recurrence. With every emotional wave that you go through, you'll experience something new. You'll be a different person. Even when you act in the same way, you'll experience these situations in a new light. Waves become cycles in your life. As Marianne Williamson put it, life is not a circle but a spiral. Every life lesson that has ever been presented to you, which means everything you have ever been through, will come back again in some form until you learn it. To me, this is the spiral staircase of life. Every moment or experience takes you to a new step. As you walk, you look down and see the memories of your past selves. You can feel into your future as you look ahead. You may even learn to see the connection between where your current step may take you if you adjust and learn, or if you don't. When you face your past wounds and emotional pains, you can find strength and power in the next spiral. You can be softer and more compassionate with yourself. This may be mirrored back to you through loving souls that you encounter on this journey, though you are not guaranteed those experiences. Sometimes the cycle repeats. You react and find yourself asking, why is this happening to me again? The spiral staircase presents you with an opportunity to answer this question directly and honestly without being a victim to what is happening. Your feelings will guide you towards the answers that you seek. Throughout this book, you can learn practices and skills that can empower you to face what occurs in your life, to honor the lessons that are meant for you. We'll start with emotional literacy to reconnect you with how and why you feel the way you do. Next, you'll learn how to anchor yourself into the present moment and process your feelings using tools to create safety. Then you'll begin to understand how your feelings can guide you towards emotional responsibility. Lastly, you will learn how to navigate boundary setting, assert your needs within relationships, and reflect on the journey. The spiral staircase empowers you to choose your direction. Learning emotional literacy and emotional responsibility will give you the ability to observe and reflect on your path. You are the alchemist, the creator of your life. Through the waves of emotions that you'll encounter, only you have the power to visualize the person you seek to evolve into and take action to be them.